Welcome to Morningstar Farms.
Well, this is really fun. Steve, I'm sure that our viewers would like to know what you're doing right now.
Hello, Steve.
Hi, Casey.
Bring us all the way a little past Vian to meet you again.
Yes. Welcome to what I say is God's country.
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's beautiful over here in eastern Oklahoma,
yes.
where you have retired on the family farm here.
That's correct. This is my parents' home that they built in the 70s. And we've tried to keep it up, and never did I imagine coming back here after retirement, but you'll see why. It keeps me very busy.
All right, so the front yard hasn't changed too much, but the backyard, maybe?
Yes, the backyard has. Of course, the front yard trees have matured and done a little bit in the front, but I spend all my time in the back, as you'll see.
Should we go take a look at that?
Yes, let's go see. Well, Casey, now you can see why I wanted to move back here and retire.
I mean, that view is amazing.
Yeah.
A little different in Stillwater's view.
It is. We have rolling hills. We're in the foothills of Ozarks, of course, lots of trees.
And that's a classic borrowed view landscape design, right?
Yes, and lots of rocks.
Yes.
Which you'll see that I've put to good use in my landscape now. I got tired of picking them up in the pasture, taking them to a pile, so I'm just reusing them in the landscape.
Hey, this works. So tell me, you had moved away for about 14 years and then you came back here.
Yep.
What did this look like when you came back here? Because I think a lot of people, I know I can relate to it, going through a PhD. My garden is going through phases.
Yes. Well, we didn't make it back over here very often. And of course, I had a nice landscape when I left, but very few things made it, because, you know, we have extremes in Oklahoma, drought and too much rain and drought after drought and heat. And so a lot of things died. We found out which was really, truly tough, you know, to make it. And really, it was just a handful of things, you know, some native perennials, some bulbs, trees, of course, but they had to live on their own. So what you see now is all of about 2 to 3 years work.
Really?
Planting, and I'm doing it myself. Just, it's a work in progress, as you can tell. And I've definitely become a better designer, I think. But I'm still using foliage color, and I'm using more natives probably than I did years ago. And my interest changed, you know, over the years, as I think everybody's does with gardening.
Well, I hear some water in the background. You got a little bubbler over there.
Yes, have a little water garden, have a rock garden. Of course, we have our areas where we entertain, but a lot of ground covers I'm trying to use, natives with non-natives. Just a lot of fun things using textures, and I think, like say, my design now has improved over the years, you know, with experience. So you'll see little pockets of things hidden here and there.
So one of the things I see here is a kind of a dry creek bed. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, when we moved back, this was turf grass that had been killed out, so it was a lot of bare soil, and it washes off quickly. The downspouts, the guttering, and so I tied them into this dry creek bed that ends up down lower by the tree into a rain garden that, when I calculated, it would hold about 1 inch of water of rainfall. And then I've used natives from down in the pasture, majority, to put that native looking landscape. And then that water,
a lot of sedges.
Yes, a lot of sedges. The water seeps down, and that helps the tree too, tree roots. But I have to blow it out and keep it clean. But when it rains, it's beautiful, of course, and it fills up quickly, and then it has an overflow. But it's just a nice added feature to a kind of formal look as well.
And I notice you have probably a classic armadillo fence too, like one of our other hosts, Steve Owens.
Yes, same thing. That was the first thing I spent my money on, was to dig a deep trench and run that coated fencing down into the ground so they couldn't crawl underneath it. And then it's a little bit more rustic, natural looking, and it doesn't take away from the view again.
Right, that's absolutely. Well, it is beautiful, but I see that there's even more beyond here.
Yes, it continues on. I'm getting to do more vegetable gardening now.
How about that? Can you grow any vegetables?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Can we go take a look at it?
Absolutely, thank you.
Well, I really like the use of your vines and your trellises to give some height around here too.
Yes, it is nice to have those opportunities to grow things vertically,
Yeah.
not just across the ground.
And ornamental as well as vegetable.
Yes, a lot of things, you know, take up vertical space that are vegetables, and you'll see several of them throughout the garden.
Yeah, so you got kind of a hodgepodge. I mean, we've got succulents and cacti next to bed of nails,
Yes.
next to herbaceous garden there.
Hodgepodge is a good way to describe it for the plant nerd, but herbs and cut flowers and, you know, figs, and then the vegetables are
The figs look great, too,
Yeah,
by
the
the way.
figs are doing really well. The tall vegetables like tomatoes and okra are in the ground, but most everything else would be in repurposed or recycled containers that were water troughs
Okay.
or feed troughs that leaked, and or somebody was selling them or giving them away, and I grow both flowers, cut flowers in one with the cattle panel.
Yeah, that's a great
Yeah.
use of the cattle panel to recycle.
Holds them up. Lost some earlier, you know, with disease and all the rain, but replanted snapdragons for the winter that get tall. But it worked great.
Perfect.
And then more water troughs that, you know, were a flop, I guess, when they were manufactured and leaked. And so I got them at a cost that was hardly next to anything, and they have really cool exteriors, and I've grown potatoes in them, strawberries, you'll see radishes, carrots in them now.
And so what's your trick to filling them up?
Yeah.
Have you been, because that's always a thing,
Yeah,
right?
because it's a lot of soil to
Yeah.
fill in. But I use the methods, and there's different names for it, but I have used, you know, shredded tree trimmings in the
Okay.
bottom. I've used
That hugelculture style
Yes, I've
of-
used
yeah,
ornamental
okay.
grasses that I've
Okay,
cut the
yeah.
tops off in the bottom. Anything to save a little space, but it's all organic, so it composts and then it lowers itself, and then I add compost or you know, good potting soil on the top.
Right.
And it's worked really well. You would think the heat would really hurt you with the metal, but it hasn't affected
It's
it too
done
much.
well. Well, I see a few more here in front of
Yes,
us.
and these are a lot bigger. These are permanent ones that we've constructed at the right height for me to be able to rest on
Oh,
while I'm working.
perfect. So you kind of use it as a stool while you're...
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely, works great.
So what do you got going on here?
Well, this is
Little insect protection?
yes, cool season broccoli, and you know the moths and the caterpillars love them this time of year and any time really. So this is really an insect netting.
Okay.
And as I told you, the soil level sinks
Right.
as it composts. So on some of them, I leave that depth,
Oh.
and then I can use this netting material over it, and the clamps hold it down. And you can see I need to put an arch over it now to give them a little bit more room, but it really works nicely.
So it gives you that extra
It does,
space.
because it's not insect pollinated.
Right.
So it's a mechanical barrier on foliage type crops that works perfectly.
Excellent, excellent. So this is your
Well, this is
floating row?
the frost protection. So because it's dropped in the cool season, like I'll plant spinach and lettuce over there, because it's lower, when we start getting the cold winter temps, I'll cover it the same way. It gets enough sunlight, but it helps insulate it. And last year I grew vegetables, cool season, all winter long.
Really?
Yep.
Even in a raised bed?
Even in a
Okay.
raised bed, it generates enough heat that it didn't seem to bother them. Now it's, you know, spinach and low-growing things
Right,
that hug
right.
the soil.
Did you have to come open it up every little bit? Or?
Just when I harvested it.
And of course you have irrigation set up on these, right?
Not quite on
Okay.
these yet, but I do most of the garden and landscape.
Okay. So what about this blue thing here?
Well, you know, I've heard about these little covers, and this one's called Blue X, and I bought them when I put in the muscadines, because you get these little seedlings, you know, that came in with it.
and they'll get beat by the
Yeah,
wind.
and I bought them, and what you do is you slide this over the seedling after it's planted, this cover goes around it, and I was shocked at how quickly they grew. In a year's time, they grew up all the way out of the top. I was able to start staking it to make it go across, and these muscadines are 2 years old and
Really?
have fruit on them
Yeah,
already.
they've got beautiful
Yeah.
fruit on them. So.
Yeah, it's a purple variety called Paulk, P-A-U-L-K. and very tasty. But man, I told you we get to experiment now, and these are some things that have worked out really well for me. And I was surprised at how quickly these go. And I think you can use them on tree seedlings.
I was going to ask,
Yep.
like on other applications for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it just keeps it from sunburning because of the color, and then helps stimulate that growth. And of course, I leave some of the stems on them to help build that trunk size
It's
up
a pretty good diameter
more.
already, yeah.
It really is for 2 years.
Yeah. Well, this is fantastic. You've done great work.
Thank you.
We've seen your work on campus, but you know, to see it in your backyard.
Well, and as gardeners, we're always learning, right?
Absolutely,
And you've got to be able to kill a few plants to get to where you want to be, and I've done that my whole career. But I'm thoroughly enjoying it. You know, been very blessed.
Well, Steve, and I'm so glad you're enjoying your retirement and your own personal garden now, and it's just beautiful. Thank you for
Casey.
sharing it with us.
Thank you for coming over. Appreciate it.
We hope you enjoyed this video as part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on the OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.